going? I'm the buff guy. I'm going to do a breakdown of Kazuya Mishima from Tekken 7. He's my main character. He's been my main for many years, and I'm going to do like, I'm going to divide this into sections. So there's going to be timestamps for each section below. I'll leave it in the comments or the description or one of those two, I don't know. And you can just skip ahead if you don't want to hear the trash that I'm going to be talking. I'm not going to be talking actual trash about this character because I love him, but, you know, if you want to skip to the stuff that you actually want to know, there will be timestamps down below. But, yeah, first off, I just want to say a couple things about him. Like my intro to the character. First time I ever played this character was actually 1994 in the arcades in Tekken 1. I was walking past an arcade on a ferry because I live on an island where I live in Canada, and we have to take a ferry to go to the mainland. So every time we'd go to the mainland, we would take a ferry, and there would be an arcade on there, and Tekken 1 was one of the machines in there. So I would walk past that with my folks, and Kazuya was doing his Tekken 1 intro, you know, the dark background. He's standing there with his arms crossed, looking all ominous and shit, and looking like a badass. And then it would turn the camera down, it was like the corner of his face, and then his eyes would slowly go look towards the camera, and then he would take his fist and he'd tighten his glove up a little bit, and then he'd go for the jab, you know, spin kick, and then it would slash to the Tekken intro. Right? That was my introduction to Kazuya, and I'm sure for many of you it's probably the same for you guys, but I saw that little intro and I was like, holy shit, that guy's so cool, and that's me as a kid, right? So I begged my folks for some quarters, went over to the machine, played a game, and of course, because it's Kazuya, he's the main character of Tekken 1, so it was automatically on his face when I chose, when I got to the character select screen. So I got to pick Kazuya right off the bat. I didn't even have to look for him. He was right there, staring me right in the face. And right off the bat, I thought he was super cool. I really loved him. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just a little kid. But I was enthralled by the character. Many years go by, and I bought, you know, a PlayStation 1, a Tekken 1 originally for the PS1. I still have the big long box, one of those long box games. And it was just a really cool experience for me as a kid, and I've always loved this character. I love the look of him, I love his hairstyle, I like his badass looking face. Even without the scars, he looks like a total badass. So, I mean, what's not to love about him? He's the greatest character in the freaking game. He's so cool. I love that his name is a play on words for the word Yakuza. So sick. So, really, that's the intro to the character. I'm gonna, you know, break this down a little bit more now. We're gonna go over pretty much everything about him. It's gonna be kind of in depth. This is probably gonna be a long video. But, you know, sit tight. You know, chill out, have a coffee, have a cigarette, smoke a joint, do what you gotta do, have a beer. Chill out and enjoy the content, whatever. So, next, number 2, we're going to go to overall design type. Kazuya has always been a punishment character. He's always been, you know, one of those characters that's based around movement. He's based around knowing the opponent's matchup. Whatever character they're using, you better know the matchup. Kazuya is all about fundamentals. He has really no bullshit. There's a lot of characters in Tekken that have bullshit, which, you know, I'm sure a lot of you could argue that, you know, there's not much bullshit in Tekken, but no, there's bullshit. You know, lots of characters have it. I'm not going to start naming off characters that I hate, but, you know, that's just a fact. Especially for the newer players in the games, and up to about, you know, I'd say probably red ranks, high red, low purple ranks. You're going to see a lot of bullshit. Especially these days. And Kazuya is basically a non-bullshit, punishment, fundamentally based character. He's all about being able to sidestep your opponent and launch punish him with the electric, or, you know, block punish and, you know, punish appropriately, punish whatever move they're going to do, He is a wait it out, see what your opponent is going to do, and react. So, no flailing in your opponent's face for Kazuya players. I mean, of course, you can gauge an incredible 50-50 once you knock them down, you know? Like, there's really nothing they can do at this point except for guess. Once they're on the ground, then they have an incredible 50-50 out of a wave dash. Like, you have so many options here. You can hell sweep. You can do a... If you're really good, which I haven't warmed up at all, so if you're really good, you can actually do a wave dash into a while standing 2 right there, which covers all your bases. So that's the true 50-50 of Kazuya, and the point of wave dashing is to, you know, realign with your stepping opponent, but we'll cover all that later. That's basically what Kazuya is boiled down to. He's a 50-50 mix-up once your opponent's on the ground, and whiff punish / block punish character. That's what he's all about. No bullshit, no flailing in your opponent's face. React to what your opponent is doing, and you better know the fucking matchup, because he has no bullshit. You have to fight your way out of any situation. So let's do number 3. We're gonna go over some good moves here. So good moves, right off the bat. We're going to do, obviously, the Hell Sweep. Really great move. I mean, this is the move that terrifies most people. This is the reason people duck Kazuya. Against the wall, if the wall is kitty corner to your right, you actually get a full launch. You can get a wall combo off of this. I'm obviously not in a wall stage right now, but you can. It's basically it can be a launcher at close range to the wall, which is pretty scary. You get some pretty decent damage for it. You know, 33 damage on a normal hit is pretty significant. He's got down back 4 is an incredible poke. Hopefully I remember all these freaking good moves of his, because I didn't even make any notes for this because I'm an idiot. But down back 4, that's +4 on hit. So, you know, you can get this into this, and if they try to jab after a down back 4, then you're going to trade. And if they try to do anything but a jab after down back 4, and you go for a down forward 2, then you get a guaranteed full launch there. So it's pretty crazy. There's also this move, like I just said, down forward 2. Pretty awesome move. It's 14 frames. It's a counter hit launcher. It's a homing move, which is awesome. Super sick move. It's -12 on blocks, so your opponent does get a jab punish or a juicy, 12-frame punish, so whatever. Can be tricky. If your opponent is on point, they're going to punish you for that move every time, and some opponents do. You get into the higher ranks, blue ranks, gold ranks, you're going to see a lot of people punish you for whiffing this shit, so don't whiff this too much. Make sure you get this out, at a reasonable time when you know your opponent is going to attack. Let's see what else he's got. Forward 4 is one of his best mids. This move is +4. +7 on hit. Wow. Is that without a counter hit? When did they change that? I guess I was wrong. It's +7 on hit now. That's crazy. Jesus. Oh, it's +4, +5 on block. What am I thinking? It's late. I'm tired. Shut up. So when your opponent blocks this move, they're in forced crouch, I believe. Let me see here. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, they're in forced crouch. So, because they're in forced crouch, they only have access to their wall standing moves, which gives Kazuya a huge advantage. And if they go for anything when they're at +4 and you try to, you can try to, I don't know, electric here, if I can. Fuck sakes. See, if you're good with your execution, that's, that's pretty much guaranteed. If they try to do anything there, or you can do down forward 2 as well. And that's basically a frame trap. Down back 4 and forward 4, those are your frame trap moves, basically. You're going to be doing these moves a lot against people that you just want to catch in a frame trap and, make sure that they stay honest. Because a lot of people don't respect frames, especially in the lower ranks, and you can get a lot of free damage if you decide to just keep them in those frame traps and keep them honest. A lot of people like to flail and do random shit and they shouldn't be doing, and just pressing buttons, and those are your key moves to keep people in check. Now, down back 4 and forward 4 are a little slow, so you got to mix them up. You know, do the electrics. You know, do the jabs. He doesn't really have any good pokes. You're gonna have to really use your movement, sidestep, backdash, all that stuff. Back 2 is a good poke. It's 14 frames, plus 4 on hit. It's a decent move. Don't usually go for back 2-4. I mean, that's a natural combo, sure, but in the higher ranks, people are going to duck your 4 and then punish you for it, so I wouldn't recommend finishing the string, but if people aren't ducking it, by all means, spam the shit out of this. It's only -3, so why not? You know, it's a good move. You can do this, into this, sidestep, and then, you know, launch punish, whatever you want to do. Back 2 is a good move. What else has he got? He's got... You know what, I'm going to mention down 1+2. This is a decent move. You can cancel it, which makes it a little cooler. But it is -14 on block, which is not that great considering, you know, a lot of characters can launch this, like Jin, Bob. I think Master Raven has a 14 frame while standing launcher, if I'm not mistaken. I think Lucky Chloe does too. I don't know. No, I think sure hers is 50. I don't remember. And then, of course, you got the 13 frame launcher guys like Kazuya, Josie, and Eddie. So if you do this and someone blocks it and you're fighting one of those characters, you could get launched if they're on point. Heihachi's got a juicy 14 frame punish from while standing as well, like while standing 1 into Iron Hand or Omen Thunder Godfist. You know, that's pretty damaging shit, so you got to watch out for that. Really only spam this against people that have weak while standing punishment. You don't even need to really spam it. Just, you know, make sure it's keeps your opponent in check. It's a good move. It high crushes. Really good for that. It's +1, which is okay. So if you go for a while standing 4 or something, you know, and they try to interrupt you, this is guaranteed, which is cool. But other than that, it's a really mediocre low that I wouldn't recommend just using anytime you want, because the range is not the greatest. I mean, it's decent, but it's really not as good as, like, I'd say go for down back 4 more often than down 1+2 any day of the frickin' week. Down back 4 is a key move. It has no crushing properties, sure, but it's still such a good move. I'm going to mention down back 3 as well. It's -1 on hit, which is not the greatest. But a lot of people think, okay, I got hit, so I'm at a disadvantage, so you might be able to get away with something there, but this into this is kind of good. Some people expect a hell sweep out of this because Kazuya has missteps, so you can do a hell sweep pretty easy out of this. Like that. You didn't even see Kazuya get up from the crouch animation. So you can do that, or the mix-up is this into that. But, so down back 3 is okay. I mean, it high crushes a lot, and that's why I enjoy it as a good move. It has a really good range. Like, honestly, that's pretty damn good range for Kazuya. He's not really known for his range. So that being a good move is, that's a pretty underused move, I'd say. This is also a pretty decent move, I gotta say. Full crouch, down 4, 3+4. It's a good mix-up for that and hell sweep. You know, as long as your opponent isn't stepping you. We'll talk about the way Kazuya is difficult in a little while. But this is a decent move. If you're fast, it guarantees you a forward 4 on the ground. One of your opponents on the ground for decent damage. But it is -12 on block. So, and your opponent's left in crouch. So that's the bright side. They are left in crouch, so their while standing moves are gonna hit. So they're gonna get, you know, a while standing 4 or a you know, a while standing 12 frame punish. Kazumi gets something pretty juicy for 12 frames, so watch out for that. Dragunov gets something pretty decent for 12 frames, so, you know, this move on blocking versus those characters, you might not want to spam this too much versus them. But against characters that don't have a great 12 frame punish from while standing, then fucking go for it, man. This move's a good shit. What else is there? Kazuya has, let me make sure I don't freaking miss anything. Forward 3 is a really good move. It's just mid launcher. It's incredibly linear. It doesn't really track to either side, but it's a good move. This is what you would mix up your opponent with if you were going from a wave dash into, like, I don't know, either Hell Sweep, or if you're not good enough to do the while standing 2 from a wave dash, which a lot of people aren't, including me. Oh my god. Dude, that was slow. Yeah, it's tricky. It is hard, but if you can get it out, once I warm up, I'm okay, I think, but, you know, I haven't warmed up yet, so. Yeah, good move, but that's incredibly punishable. We'll talk about that move in a second. So 4-4-3 is basically the go-to for most Kazuya players, including even high-level and pro-level Kazuya players, just because it's, it comes out of a wave dash. You can get it out of a wave dash. So why would you not want to use it? I mean, it's you can realign with the opponent, and if they step it, it means they stepped you at the exact right time. After your wave dash is finished, your wave dash so you can realign with your opponent that is stepping you, and then you bring this move out. And if they do step it, they're just they got really good movement. There's nothing else to it. You have to try a different approach at that point. Go for the wall standing 2 if you are able to. If you're stepping, or if you're fighting an opponent that's that good at stepping, then, you know, that's just a testament to how good they are. But 4-4-3, really decent move. You can get some decent ass damage off this, actually. Let me see if I can get max damage from this. Let's see here. Oh, hold on. Damn it. There we go. 78 damage. It's pretty good. You're not going to be doing that too much in the open, but in an actual match. But it's still pretty decent. You know, it's good to know. What else is there? Oh, his one homing move, which is while standing 3. Pretty damn slow. Comes out at 21 frames, which is very slow. But it's good against the wall. Keeps your opponent in check versus against the wall. If they're trying to step while they're in the wall, a lot of people will go from this into this, and it'll wall splat your opponent again when they're you just wall splatted your opponent, then you do this when they're wall splatted. I should probably change the stage so I can do this. Wall splat your opponent, get him into this, and then wall standing 3 to, you know, re-wall splat your stepping opponent at that point, because they probably tech rolled and now they're trying to get the hell away from the wall. Decent move for that reason. It is homing. It screws on an airborne opponent, so it is good for that. But, you know, there's not really much uses for it other than that, because you have back 4, which is the next move I want to talk about. This move is incredible. In Season 3, they brought it to 17 frames. It was 19 originally. And now it's just the coolest fucking move ever. I love this move. It is so good, especially when you're playing high-ranked opponents. You're going to fight a lot of people that step Kazuya, because Kazuya is extremely weak to sidestep left. And we're going to talk about that soon. So this move is just amazing, because it's -5 on friggin' block. You can do this into sidestep, into an electric, or whatever you want to do. It's such a good move. Back 4, you know, you got to mix it up, obviously. So mix it up with this, because this is also safe on block. That's also -5 on block. So, you know, because that's a mid, but this is a high, this comes out quicker. And you can do it at any time instead of having to do it while standing. So, you know, if your opponent is stepping you, you can mix those 2 up. You can also mix it up with down forward 2, because that's a homing move as well. But the problem is this is not safe. So, you know, you got to be careful with the moves you choose to use. I think that's about it for the moves that are good. He doesn't really have much for poking. He's got jabs. He's got shitty down forward 1, which is 15 frames. And it's -7 on hit, like on block. Like, look at that. That is pretty detrimental for the character. It used to be -9 in older games, which is ridiculous. But thank God it's -7 now. It's still pretty bad on hit, or on block, sorry. But it's you know, it's reasonable. He's got this down back 2, which guarantees you a forward 4 when they're on the ground. Super great move. Except incredibly linear, especially in Season 3, they made it super linear, so you really have to, you know, if you can wave dash into it, please try to do that. You're you're only benefiting yourself by doing that. Because it's best to realign with your opponent at that point, and then throw it out into a 4-4-4. What else we got? This move is actually a pretty commonly used move in high-level play because it's a decent poke with decent range, and it's -3 on hit, which is not too bad. It's better than this, to be honest, I'd say. So his standard down 3 is actually pretty damn decent. So what else we got here? Down 4-3, decent enough move, only -7 on the hit. Has extensions, you know, down 4-3-2 is a natural combo. Don't finish that string, it's terrible, you get launch punished. What else we got? I think that's about it for his, okay, one more move. Standing 4. He does have a magic 4, kind of. Look at this terrible range, though. This thing is trash. This move sucks. Like, look at that. That's so bad. It's, I guess, between standing 4 and while standing, or down forward 2, those are basically the closest thing Kazuya has to panic moves, because this is a magic 4 on counter hit. On counter hit, you do get a launcher. It's not terrible on counter hit. It is +2, which is good. It's totally safe on block, so that's also good. Yeah, -9. So it's your turn's totally over at -9, but at least you're still safe after that. It's pretty bad range, though. I wouldn't recommend really throwing this out ever. It's not that good. But it is 12 frames, so it's the closest thing Kazuya has to an actual good magic 4. He's got somewhat of a magic 4, I guess you could say. Which is kind of cool. A lot of people ignore that, but this move has come in handy for me a couple of times, so I thought I'd give it a mention real quick. And of course you got down forward 4, a great move, 13 frame. This is basically his 13 frame poke. He doesn't have a down forward 1, and this is -9 on block, so it's super slow. You know, if only he had a good down forward 1, this wouldn't be so bad to have. But this is his 13 frame poke. It's +2 on hit, which is decent. So it's not a down forward 1 by any means. It's not even close. But at least it's something. You know, you want to keep your opponent in check, and you need 13 frames. You know, you need something to do it. Like after this, you can go for this, and then no matter what, this is guaranteed. So no matter what they press, you're gonna get a guaranteed down forward 4 if they press anything. And then you can also delay the second hit to get the full tsunami kicks, which is -4. But, you know, on hit, it's -4. On block, this thing's launch punishable. Yeah, -15, there you go. So almost every character in the game can launch that. And what else we got? We got one more. I think we got one more, don't we? Well, we got a couple more, actually. While standing 4. This move is so great. +8 on hit. Such a good move. It's totally different from down forward 4. They look the same. They're very similar animations, but down forward 4 and while standing 4 are two completely different beasts. -3 on block. 11 frames startup, +8 on hit. Super great move. Abuse the crap out of this thing if you can. Bring it out of a wave dash if you're able to. Just such a great move. You can literally do anything after. It's super great. Sky's the limit at that point. +8, I mean, damn, that's super awesome. You can also finish the second hit. I think it's also delayable. No, the second hit is not delayable. So you have to finish it. It's not like down forward 4 where you can delay the second hit. You actually have to finish the string. You have to go into it right away. So, which is still fine. I mean, this is basically his 11 frame punish, but it's also a great poke by itself. Great move. And I think the last one I want to mention that's really decent is up forward 3, good move. It's safe at -9. Oh, actually, I gotta mention another 3 move in a second. Up forward 3 is great for wall splat, and it's good for low crushing. Very linear though. It's pretty slow at 19 frames, but you can just throw this out sometimes, and a lot of people will eat it if they're coming in on you. It's a good keep out move. Same with forward 3. Kind of the same deal. They're both 19 frames. Forward 3 is Kazuya's biggest range move, which is good, but it's very linear. Doesn't really do anything on counter hit. It just knocks him down. You can get a guaranteed... I think you get something guaranteed there, don't you? I think you get a guaranteed health sweep if you're really, really good. But yeah, good luck. No, you do get something guaranteed there, but there's almost no point in even attempting it. It's so hard. But those are good for keep out. Those moves are basically his keep out moves, and then he's got this, which is an incredible good move. Sidestep 3. Is -7 on hit, or on block, but on hit it launches. Gives you a pretty decent damaging combo. You can actually get... really have to be good with the timing there. Hold on a second. $55 damage is the max you can get from that. Pretty decent. You can also get really sick Oki from doing this. It's pretty good. So, Sidestep 3, very underused move, very underrated. A lot of people ignore the shit out of this. It's only -7 on block, which is really amazing for considering it's a mid launcher that has really good tracking to Kazuya's weak side if you step into it on his weak side. And it's just, it's a freaking long-range move that you can literally throw at any time you want. And a lot of people ignore the crap out of this move, which is baffling to me. I love this move. I use it in every match, pretty much. And a lot of people eat it, so why wouldn't you? You know, it's a great move. Just do it at a good, you know, make sure you're... Look at that freaking range. Look how good that is. You can get so much damage from that, and then the Oki is incredible afterwards. Go for this, and then go into forward 4 or something. You know, it's pretty unreal. Speaking of forward 4, there's another great move. This hit's grounded. This is +5 on hit, safe on block, -9, and it's only 17 frames to impact, so it's 18 frames altogether because it's forward 4. So, a great move. Like, why wouldn't you use this thing? It's got decent tracking as well. I think that about wraps up his moves, like the good pokes and basically the moves you're going to be using in a match if you're playing Kazuya. Yeah, that's about it for the good moves. Now let's see, what do we got next? All right, so what is this? Number 4 is number 5. I don't know. Number 4. We'll say number 4. This is punishment. So, all in all, his punishment is pretty simple. He's got, from while standing, he's got 4-4, while standing 4-4, at 11 frames. At 13 frames, you got while standing 1-2, which is probably the best while standing punisher in the game. He's got crazy damage from this if you can do the proper combo. Oh my Jesus. Swear to God, it's not just me. A lot of people have problems. Once they start recording for freaking videos, all your execution goes out the window. Jesus Christ, come on now. I didn't get the electric there, but that usually is 65 damage. If you want, you can just go for the easy mode combo, this stuff right here. 60 damage is still pretty good. So while standing 1-2, the twin pistons, it's one of the best punishers in the game from while standing. It's 13 frames to impact, which is absurd. Kazuya is one of 3 characters in this 50-character game that has a 13-frame while standing launcher. It's insane how good that is. So a lot of moves like Brian's forward 4-1, Kazumi's down forward 1-4 or 1-2, Kuma and Panda's down back 2. What else is there? Oh, Jin's down back 4. Dragunov's down 2. You know, there's a lot of moves in the game that are minus 13 on block when you're crouching. So Kazuya can launch all of that. So those characters are scared shitless of this. Like, you don't want to be spamming those moves against Kazuya when he's got this shit he can kill you with. And then you get Oki after that, too. Like, command, and then you get the wall, too. Kazuya can get, like, 100-plus damage combos from a frickin' while-standing 1-2. It's so unreal. It's 13 frames. It's such a good move. And then from 16, which is basically your Punisher for stagger lows, you got while-standing 2. It's a great move. You can do it out of a wave dash, just like you can the Twin Pistons as well. Pretty damn decent move. I gotta say, I really only use this against ranged lows that you might not reach with the Twin Pistons, because the range is pretty shit on the Twin Pistons, I gotta say. The first hit doesn't hit from very close up. But the while standing 2 has really good range. So if the low is pretty punishable, but you're too far away to hit the Twin Pistons, go for the while standing 2. The gut punch. Or if you're doing a stagger low, like blocking a Hell Sweep or a Dragon Tail or a Snake Edge, you know, punish it with this. Or you can do a crouch dash cancel, crouch cancel electric if you're really good, but you know, good luck with that online. So that's his while standing punishment. By the way, this is incredibly unsafe. So if you do get that blocked, you know, if you're doing it out of a Hell Sweep or something, you know, and someone blocks it, then you're looking at minus 18. So you're really, it's not that good on block. A lot of people don't punish it properly, though, because it looks similar to this, and this is only minus 12. But then you look at this, minus 18. So they look similar in animations, so a lot of people aren't going to punish it the way they should, but good players will make you pay for it. So just be wary of who you're fighting. Make sure you test your opponent a couple of times in early rounds and figure out, you know, what they do when you do certain moves, and, you know, figure out how to attack from there. Don't just throw it out, because you are going to eat a lot of damage for it if they're good. We also got standing punishment. So standing punishment, Kazuya has also the best punishment in the game. So from 10 frames, he's got 1-1-2. He's got 1-2-2. And he's got, that's it. Well, obviously the 1-2 jabs. But 1-1-2 is one of the best 10-frame punishes in the game, because it gives you a knockdown and guaranteed Oki. You can hit confirm it, so it's pretty great that way. Look at that. The delay you can get on it is actually pretty unreal. So there's no reason to ever really go for 1-2-2. Because you only get +4 frame advantage and a little bit more damage. Not really as good as, you know, this is you get a knockdown. You're in a way better position at this point. So you get Oki. Some people stay on the ground too long. You get a guaranteed forward there. Mix them up, you know. Maybe get a Hell Sweep in on them after that. So, you know, just a great 10-frame punish. Kazuya is one of the rare characters where he has an 11-frame punish from the standing as well, which is back 1-2. Minus 14 on block, which is, you know, not too bad. Most characters can't launch that, so it's pretty safe. Don't do this against the law, though. We'll just whip that against the law. You're going to get fucking launched for that with 3+4, but most characters are going to just punish you with something like 12-frame punish or something. But this is his 11-frame punish that you would pretty much use for anything between 11 and 14 frames. There's really no reason to go for anything else. Unless it's really long range, then you got to go for his 13-frame punish, which is that. Some moves have good pushback and you have no choice but to use this as your punish, but most of the time, back 1-2 is your go-to. 11 frames fast, natural combo, wall splats, mostly not launch punishable on block. You know, it's decent range, not horrible. Let's see, yeah, so from range 2 onward, you're not really going to connect with this very much, unless the character has a big hitbox. range 2.02. Okay, so you do hit from range 2, range 2.2. Range, this looks like from range 2.3 you're not going to really hit. So range 2.3, which is not that great considering range 2.3, the down forward 4 hits from like range 2.5. So, you know, that's a significant difference. So there's a lot of times where you're going to want to use the down forward 4 instead of down back, or instead of back 1-2. But he also has a 12 frame, which is pretty damn good. This is 2-2, standing 2-2, which is sick. You get +6 on a hit. Crazy good damage for 12 frames. You can mix them up into anything you want after that. Sky's the limit, because it's still your turn after you hit with this. Only -10 on block, which is solid as hell. It's only jab punishable. I do use 2-2 quite a lot, I gotta say. I like back 1-2, don't get me wrong, but 2-2 is sick. Gives you 3 extra damage, and they're right in your face, and you have all the room in the world to do whatever you want to them. You can fucking, you can hell sweep, you know, you can do whatever you want. You can do down forward 1-2, you know. They are forced to guess what you're gonna do. If they're probably gonna try to step you at this point if they're stupid, but they're at -6, so it's not suggested. A lot of people will, you know, a lot of people press buttons because they're panicking. 2-2 is actually a really solid 12 frame punish. 13 frames, he's got down forward 4-4, like I said. This is really only used if you're going to do your longer range punishes. Like moves that have a little bit too much pushback for the other two, for the 11 frame and the 12 frame punishes. So really just use that if you're doing, you know, if you're fighting against, I don't know, a Leroy that's doing forward 2-2 and you block it. Well, I guess that move's nerfed now. It doesn't push back as much, but still. Before, you could only really punish it with this. What the hell? So, with that. So, you know, moves like that. That's when you punish it with that. 14 frames. He's got back 2-4. That's a guaranteed natural combo. Is a +8 on a hit, which is pretty sick. So again, you can pretty much do anything you want at that point. Not the greatest. He's also got the gut punch. This is 14 frames, but you know, this is better, I'd say, as a 14 frame punish. Although, why would you do anything but this? Like, there's no reason to do anything but back 1-2 really most of the time. Just do back 1-2, get that damage, get that knockdown, get the maybe get a wall splat, or do 2-2 if you want frame advantage. Between those two, he doesn't really need a 13 or 14 frame punish. But you also have the electric at 14 frames if you're really good at the execution. So, I mean, good luck with that. Most people can't get the electric in 14 frames. It's pretty hard to do. You can do it online. I've done it a few times, but mostly I get electrics at 15 frames or less, or more, I mean. Just because they're, you know, it's a hard move to do. And we will talk about the electric. There's a reason I haven't mentioned that as one of his good moves yet. But we will discuss that in a second. Okay. Well, actually, we come to that now. Number 5, the electric. I'm actually going to take a quick piss break, so one sec. So the electric is a pretty special move. Kazuya is one of the few characters in the game, one of 3, well, I guess 4 if you count Jin, to have this move. Everybody knows what this is. It's, you know, it's a 14, 15 frame fast, +5 on block, launching high that has a really low hitting hitbox for a high move that you can actually get multiple electrics off if you launch them in the air, if I can fucking do it. Oh my god, I can't even get 5 right now because I haven't even warmed up. I usually get 5 pretty consistently. But the point I'm making here is it has a really low hitbox. It's arguably the best move in the game. I would say it is. It tracks pretty decently to Kazuya's weak side, which is a huge bonus for him because he needs a move that tracks to his weak side. And it just so happens to be his best move. It does require quite a bit of execution. You have to practice how to learn this move. Oh, well, not how to learn it, but you have to learn how to do this move by practicing your ass off. It's pretty ridiculously difficult and demanding to do consistently, especially in a match in the heat of battle when, you know, your opponent is flailing in your face and you need to do it out of a sidestep. You know, it's tough. It's really tough. So, you know, like, I'm in practice mode right now and I'm whiffing it. So, you know, electric is a really hard move. I've been practicing the move for about 13 years, and I still, you know, I still drop it a lot. You know, it's still not as consistent as it should be. There are pros in tournaments that do this move in the middle of matches, and they will whiff it and get a down 2 or a down forward 2. It's a difficult move to get out every single time you want it. It's super demanding. It's a just frame. And it's basically the number one tool that Kazuya needs. It's his number one most used tool in his bag, in his arsenal, in his tool bag. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is for Kazuya. He relies on a just frame move. You know, some characters get an easy launch of the down forward 2 in their sidestep. Kazuya either has to go for this for 48 measly damage, or an electric, and it's hard to get that from a sidestep punish or a block punish, you know, like, or a whiff punish. You know, it's really difficult. People underestimate how hard this move is when they don't use Mishimas, and if you actually try to do this move consistently in a match, and you're just starting out and you want to learn Mishimas, you know, you're going to be spending a lot of time learning how to do the electric, and it is absolutely necessary. If you are not using electrics and you're a Mishima player, you have to get your shit together, because I'm not even joking, it is crucial to the game plan of using a Mishima. You have to use electrics, specifically with Kazuya. Kazuya relies on the electrics more than any other Mishima. Heihachi has incredible mids. Devil Jin has an unbelievable 50-50 mix-up with incredible lows and mids. He's a perfect all-around character. Devil Jin is just sick. Kazuya doesn't really have good pokes. At least Devil Jin and Heihachi have good pokes that they can deal damage with. Heihachi's got forward 2 if he wants to launch his opponent. Devil Jin has, you know, an easy mode down 3+4 with the can kicks. He wants to launch his opponent. He's also got up 4, which is actually pretty effective, even in high level play, because a lot of people don't expect it, and it's actually kind of difficult to punish. Kazuya has none of that. He's got electric, that's it, and he's got this. That's his 15-frame punish if you want to do easy mode shit, which is totally fine. You know, I totally recommend doing that. If you're not comfortable with the electrics, it's only -13 on block. Down forward 1-2. Not the best move, but it does guarantee a forward 4 when you connect with it. So you don't get any wall splat. You don't get very good Oki after forward 4. It's not the greatest. I definitely recommend the electrics. Like, look at the freaking damage difference. 48 damage compared to stop blocking it. This is easy mode. 69, and that was including one normal Wind God Fist. Oh jeez. Oh my God, really? Oh Jesus, come on. I don't whiff it this much online. Come on, man. There we go. 76 damage. Like, why would you even bother going for this when you can get 76 damage? You know, or plus the wall. You know, like get him with the wall, hit wall splat, and all of a sudden you're getting close to 100 damage off of one electric. There's no comparison. It's an incredibly good move. It's +5 on block. Yes, you can duck it, but you have to mix it up. You know, use this, use your mids, you know, like, it's such a great move. It is the best move in the game. Because it tracks so well, that's what pushes it above most other moves. And that's why it's the best move he has. It always has been the best move he has since pretty much Tekken 5. It wasn't very good in Tekken 4, but in Tekken 5, that move became godlike. And Kazuya is the #1 Mishima to use it more than any other Mishimas. So, if you're using Kazuya, you absolutely need to learn the electric. Fortunately, he has 2 inputs for it. You can do forward, neutral, down, down, forward 2, or you can do forward, neutral, down, forward 2, which is the perfect electric, which is, not coming out right now. There it is. God damn it, unbelievable. Make myself look like a scrub. So, that's the electric you'll do if you're gonna do, the perfect electric, down forward 2 into the electric. The famous move everybody knows, everybody gets super hype about. I'm gonna screw it. Let's attempt to do it a couple of times. What are we doing here? Counter hit. Player attacks. Counter hit. Here we go. Fuck this guard. Just stand up. There you go. Look at the damage you get for this. 102 damage just for landing a down forward 2 perfect electric counter hit. It's pretty unbelievable. Like, if you can actually land that, kudos to you. I can't land it very consistently online. It's very difficult to do. It's one of the hardest things to do ever in the game, but if you can do it, some people can. If your execution's on point, Kazuya becomes a damage monster. 102 damage with no wall is a joke. Is not a joke, I should say. So, that pretty much covers the electric. For now, anyways. There's more I'm going to say about it in a second. Now I'm going to get to why he's number, 6? Why he's so hard, and what are his weaknesses. Man. Well, like I said, Kazuya is basically the only character in the game that has no bullshit whatsoever. He relies completely on fundamentals. He relies on movement, which is already the most difficult thing to learn in Tekken, which is funny considering it's a game based off movement, and movement is so hard to learn. That's why Tekken is so hard to learn as a game in general. Movement is incredibly important if you're a Kazuya main. And he relies on a just frame for the majority of his damage, which is insane. There's just so much to this character that is so difficult when you're first picking him up. It's pretty unbelievable. I mean, the amount of time you're going to spend in practice mode alone, learning how to do the electric consistently, is going to interfere with the amount of time you could be spending in practice mode learning other things that are actually super important to your game, like, punishment and, block punish, whip punish, proper movement, like learning how to properly Korean backdash, things like that. You could be learning to do all that other stuff, but instead you're stuck in practice mode learning how to do one stupid move. That's part of the reason a lot of players poo-poo the whole idea of using Kazuya, because he's going to set you back a little while. And it's true, he does. I learned how to do a really good electric, and I had no idea how to block punish after that. I was still stuck in the Stone Ages back in the day. He's just a really difficult character all around. He's very weak to sidestep left, which I will demonstrate here in a sec. Repeat action. Let's do record, and let's do this into this. Nope, not that. This into this, and do this into this. Let's see what else we got. What else does Kazuya have that's really linear? Well, those are 2 moves right there that are extremely linear. He's got this. Let's try this. That into that. And one more. Let's do that into that. Now let's just see here what we come up with. So now we're at his back. Okay. Yeah, Hell Sweep is incredibly linear. I didn't step that. Forward 4-3, very linear. Down back 4, very linear. Forward 4, very linear. All these moves are incredibly linear. You can step everything to your left. If your timing is good and you know the character, just step to the left and you will avoid pretty much anything that Kazuya has. Those are pretty much his go-to moves. Of course, you got one more in there. Whoops. I'm a fucking scrub. There's the electric. Let's throw that in there now and see what happens. Okay. Come on, where's the electric at? Jesus, look at this. It's unbelievable. Oh, forward 4 clipped me. I didn't step it fast enough. Come on, electric, where are you? Oh my god, I should have just do the electric by itself. Maybe I will in a second if it doesn't come out right now. Oh, and I ducked. I didn't step. Alright, fuck it. Let's do this. I want to just demonstrate that electric is so crucial to use for this reason alone. Oh my god, it worked. You can still step it on that side. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't step it there. So it does track a little bit to his weak side. Look at that. If you step it perfectly, you can step it. But it will clip you if you don't step perfectly. Like, I am stepping it consistently now. But it will clip you if you don't step it perfectly. Like I was stepping there, you can see for yourself. Yeah, so sometimes it can still clip you if you're not perfect with your sidestep. So that's why electric is so important, because it does track a little bit to his weak side. You have to be extremely perfect with the timing of the sidestep. But everything else, pretty much Kazuya has, besides his homing moves, you know, like he's got virtually nothing saving him from sidestep left. Very weak to sidestep left. He only has his homing moves, which are pretty slow. He's got the electric, which is a frickin' just frame to be able to use consistently. And that's about it. And, of course, he's got the wave dash. That's another reason he's difficult. This is hard to do. A lot of people don't know how to wave dash, especially like this. Like, this is a pretty consistent wave dash, and I'm using a D-pad right now. A lot of people can wave dash like that on stick, but not very many people can wave dash like this on D-pad. I pride myself in my wave dash. I know I have a decent wave dash, and I had to get a decent wave dash because I main Kazuya, and the reason you need a decent wave dash is because every single one of these wave dashes realigns with your opponent. And you need that when you knock your opponent down and they're doing a tech roll, maybe to the left. So in this case, Kazuya, the purple Kazuya, would be doing a tech roll into the background, the foreground, which is towards my left, my Kazuya's left, and then he's going to get up and he's going to attempt to sidestep left more. I can't let him do that. I need to stay in his face with a wave dash and then mix him up with 50-50s. And the wave dash is very difficult. You can look up wave dash tutorials online. I'm not going to go into detail of how to do a wave dash right now, but it is very difficult. It's hard to get consistent. It is possible after many years of practice, many months at least, but you require a good wave dash, you require a good electric, you require good movement, and good Korean backdash cancel. The KBDC is absolutely crucial for Tekken in general, but even more so for Kazuya because spacing is so important for his game plan. You need to space your opponent, see what they're going to do, go in with jabs, move in, maybe sometimes run into your opponent's face and see what they're going to do. If they don't do anything, test them out a little bit. And then finally, when you get an opening, boom, get that combo in there. And then engage the vortex, the 50-50. That's what it's all about, man. So, Kazuya is a very simple character, but he's also extremely complex at the same time. It's hard to imagine that being this two characteristics of the same character, but it's the way he is. He requires a frickin' just frame as his main move. He requires incredible movement, and he requires a lot of knowledge of the opponent that he's fighting. So you need to know matchups, which is a lot of players' weakest traits. Many people don't know very many matchups, and who can blame them? There's 50 characters in the game, 100 moves each character at least. That's 5,000 frickin' moves you need to know. Even the top 10 moves of each character still warrants 500 moves you need to cover. You know, that's unbelievable how much you need to know in this game. So, and how to deal with that, and what the appropriate punish is, and what happens if they throw out one of the other moves that you're not familiar with, you know? How do you deal with that move? There's so much to know, and you always have to stay on your toes. And that's why using Kazuya is so difficult. He's fundamentally based, and he requires many hours of practicing just his basic moves. And he has no bullshit. The only thing you can maybe relate as bullshit is this against a wall. He's got this, which gives you a pretty decent wall combo. You know, you can get, what is it? This is 30 damage on its own, or 25 damage without counter hit, and then you get another, you know, 40 or something damage against the wall with a decent combo. He's good for that, I guess. You know, that's definitely some bullshit you can use. But other than that, which is a slow unblockable that people can react to, that a lot of people see coming because this is a very common strat for many Kazuya players. Do that against the wall and get some free damage. But in order to do that, you need to scare your opponent into not doing anything. So you need to really hit him with a lot of you know, pressure. And Kazuya isn't very good at pressure. He can't pressure the opponent. He's okay at it. Forward 4 and a down forward 4. Or down back 4 and a forward 4 and a down forward 4. Or electric and down back 4 or something, you know, against the wall. Maybe you can pressure that way. Keep your side steps. Keep aligning with your opponent and get the pokes in there or whatever. But for the most part, Kazuya is not going to pressure. He's not very good at it. He's not Heihachi. So, or Devil Jin even. He's got nothing. So, if your opponent is scared against the wall with Kazuya, you must be doing something right, first of all. But it's so, to get them to eat that is, you got to get them to be scared of you, and that's what's another thing what's hard about Kazuya, is getting your opponent to just hold back against the wall and hope that they're going to eat that lightning uppercut, because this thing is incredibly linear. You can step it, no problem. And it's interruptible. I mean, the thing comes out at 43 frames. I mean, Jesus, that's basically a full second he's got to react to it. Because this game's 60 frames per second, right? So he's got almost a whole second to react to the damn thing. But yeah, it's pretty unreal. He's got very few tools that are really scary for a lot of opponents, but you know, if used properly, the reason he's so cool is because he's just so incredibly difficult, and winning with him is the most satisfying freaking thing in the world as far as Tekken goes. And that's why I love Kazuya, plus he looks badass. Next, we're going to go into combos. I mean, you don't need to really explain a whole lot about the combos. I mean, there's the basic combo that, you know, there's this, electric into this. Let's take off counter hits so the damage isn't wrong. But anyway, so the electric into an easy, you know, 3-1-4 into back 2-1 into whatever the hell, into your ender of some sorts, you know. I particularly don't like ending it with a hell sweep because the Oki isn't very good, but you can get pretty decent Oki with the Hell Lancer, which is crouch dash 3. Really, and only a good move when you're trying to finish a combo. I would never throw this out in the open. It's terrible. Just because it's slow and it's incredibly linear. So if they step even a little bit, they're avoiding the whole thing and you're going to die. So it's not a good move. And it's high, so they can duck it too. So there's a lot of ways to defend against it. And I think it's pretty unbelievable on block too, considering it's a strong-ass move like that. It's not plus on block. It's safe, but it's not plus. I think it's like -7 or something. It doesn't matter. Anyways, that's one easy mode combo for you. You also have what else you got here? You got the big boy combos. This is the staple that I do in my matches. Usually end it like that, or you can just do be a little bit more of a big boy combo here. Oh, yeah, that was harder than I thought. Well, you can get 73 damage there if you get 3 electrics. But anyways, that's the combo. Don't recommend doing that online unless you're like the main man or some shit, because it's pretty difficult to execute. If you want the damage, this is actually an easier combo right here. Why is he blocking everything? For fuck's sakes. There we go. So that can get up to 76 damage if you get 3 electrics. A lot easier to do than the 3rd electric. Doesn't give you any Oki because you send them flying back. You don't get a wall splat, but it's decent for stages like this stage, like the Infinite Azure, because you're just going for damage in these stages. There's no wall, you know. So it's decent for that. That's basically the big boy combo if you want to get that. Of course, there's the down forward 2 into electric combos. I'm not going to show you that though. Really no point. I already showed you one earlier, so it's all good. Let's try some wall combos, though. So against the wall, you're going to go for while standing 4 into down forward 1/4 into 1+2. So it's pretty decent for damage. Let me see here. You get the full combo. $97 damage instead of what would have been 71 with just the hell sweep, but you get an extra 28 damage with the wall there. 97 damage is pretty damn good. You also get say I'm gonna do the lightning uppercut thing here. This is an easy wall combo. Oh my god. 54 damage. Pretty damn good, considering the lightning uppercut is just 25 damage. You get 54 with that easy-ass wall combo. This is basically the go-to if you knock them away from a really far distance. Back 2/4 into down forward 1/4 is very consistent, hits almost every single time. There's almost no times that will ever whiff. This is almost better to do than while standing 4 into down forward 1/4. To 1+2, because the 1+2 is known for whiffing if you're just a little bit off axis. So it's almost not worth doing that on an opponent all the time. Sometimes this is the best way to go. Just the fact that you can, and then you get good Oki afterwards, and you get so much in ways in the sense of being able to stay in your opponent's face there too. You've got so much range here. You can do pretty much anything you want. That's very common. You land that a lot. A lot of people eat the 2nd electric. So you hit them with a blocked electric, and then you get them with a. Then they attack because they forget that electric is +5 on hit, and get them with all those types of shenanigans. Anyways, that is wall combos for Kazuya. That's really all you need to know about the wall combos. It's basic information. I'm going to try doing some big character stuff, because there is a little bit to know about big characters. So this is the wall combo that I want to show you real quick. $66 damage instead of do the other thing. $58 damage, or 68 damage. this is the big combo you get against the wall against an opponent that's massive size. Only Marduk, only Gigas, only Jack. I think that's about it. But it's a little weaker than the while standing 4-1 into 1+2 at the end there. The only thing is it's very consistent. This will hit all the time, no matter what. You don't have to worry about ever whiffing this thing. This is going to hit no matter what. Look at that. It's just incredibly consistent, and it's only 2 damage less. So instead of going for this incredibly consistent one, which is 61 damage, you go for this super consistent one, which is 66 damage. So it's 5 more damage, and much easier to do, and incredibly consistent, and you're in just as good a position as if you just did this combo. So, I want to just show you the panda, because you can do panda here. What the hell? There you go. Now that does work a lot more than you think. It is not as inconsistent as what I just showed. There you go. I don't know why it wasn't doing that earlier. I think you get that off Marduk too. I'm pretty sure you do. It really does depend on the hitbox, but pretty much all the big characters, you get a combo off full crouch down 4-3+4. You really have to be on point with your hitbox, though. Anyways, that is good for the big character combos. I just wanted to show that little tidbit of info. A lot of people don't know that, so let's just do one more thing here. I want to do... last thing we're going to talk about real quick. We're going to talk about Devil. Alright, so this move is a really good move I wanted to discuss. It's incredibly strong. It's -9 on hit. It is just... I don't know. It's a very underused move, and I don't really understand why, considering how strong it really is. Forward 1+2 is what that is. He's also got a mid-electric, which is pretty unbelievable. You can see that mid reticle right there. And he still gets the same damage that Kazuya does. And he's got an extension from his Hell Sweep, which is basically just going into a Thunder God Fist from a Hell Sweep. It's actually pretty hard to input. Oh, I'm tired. I need to go to bed. Anyways, Devil's a really cool character. He's a great extension to Kazuya. Definitely recommend using him any chance you get. You can access Devil through the Rage Drive, which is super sick. Kazuya has probably the best Rage Drive in the game. I didn't even mention that, but it's actually incredibly good. This Rage Drive is so strong. It crushes highs. It's +7 on block. I mean, it's incredibly good. It's very linear, so you're not going to be, you got to be careful of people stepping you. But other than that, it's an incredible Rage Drive. You can even use it in combos. Let's try if I can see if I can do that right now. Okay, that's what I'm going to get right now, because every time I did the freaking other combo against Kuma, like this shit right here, look at that. That's some bullshit. That whiffs against the stupid bear because he's got a stupid hitbox. Stupid bear. So don't use that combo against Kuma, because he's got a dumbass hitbox, and bears suck. Bears are a horrible freaking character. I hate bears. Anyways, that's just the basics of what I wanted to talk about there. Well, not the basics. It was pretty in-depth. The Devil shit was pretty basic, but everything else was as far as in-depth as I possibly could go, I think. Yeah. Kazuya is my favorite character. Love him to death. I've loved him since '94. More people need to understand how awesome this character is. I hope I inspired some of you to be able to play him. It's gonna be a grind. It's gonna be a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Literally, your fingers are gonna develop blisters and calluses. I don't even feel that shit anymore. This is why I'm able to wave dash like this with my thumbs, because I got such crazy calluses on my fingers from all the electrics I've been doing all my life. So, you know, just be ready for that. And you're in for a bumpy ride, but when you get there and you manage to reach that top of that mountain and you've achieved what you've been striving for many, many months, probably many, many years, the amount of satisfaction you'll feel from playing a character like Kazuya and doing well with him is going to far surpass any other character you could pick in this game, as far as I'm concerned. And I've been playing Tekken for 25 plus years, and that's how I feel. Ever since Kazuya was a thing, he has been close to my heart, and he means everything to me as far as the character goes. So I really hope that some of you have learned something at least from the video, and are inspired by this video somewhat to at least try this character. Have him as a pocket in your arsenal, or even main him. Wouldn't that be sick? He is the hardest character in the game to use, bar none, for sure. There are other incredibly difficult characters like Devil Jin and Heihachi and Lee and Brian. And Akuma is also quite difficult. Geese is very difficult. The execution required for those characters is very high, very vast. But just the mere fact alone that Kazuya requires a just frame launcher, this is his mandatory move. He requires that in his arsenal. He can't get by without it. And that's what makes him the hardest character in the game. The fact that he needs a just frame to even get by in a standard Tekken match. So, you know, be prepared. He is the hardest character, and you know, you're going to have a hard time, but the rewards will absolutely get in you'll get out of it what you put in. So the rewards will be reaped eventually at the end of the journey when you've hit that level. So good luck to everybody who wants to play this character, and all the best. And I hope see you online sometime. Keep rocking out and keep gaming, and talk to everybody soon.